I know you're on pins and needles waiting to know how it all turned out with our cookie fundraiser. I've got the lowdown for you. Keep watching. Hi everyone, this is Audra with Pathfinder Strong, and today I want to tell you how our cookie fundraiser turned out. I want to tell you how many cookies we made, how long it took, how much it cost, and most importantly, how much money we made and how you can make that much money too. Before I hit you with all the numbers, side note, this is a really lucrative fundraiser. So sometimes people do fundraisers like they're really gimmicky. It's like, oh, sell my product and I'll give you 10%. So you have to go around selling these candy bars, or I honestly did a trash bag fundraiser once where I had to sell trash bags, and then the organization gets like 10% or 20% of all the total sales. This cookie fundraiser, we got 2/3 of the total sales. And honestly, I think you could probably even cheapen that up a little bit, which I'll tell you how, and you could get maybe 3/4 of your total sales. So before you close this video and say, oh, Christmas is over, I'll watch this next year, guess what holiday is coming up? Valentine's Day. And guess what people want to buy at Valentine's Day? Sweets for their loves. So you can most certainly make cookie boxes for Valentine's Day. Make them simple. Just do one variety of cookies, and you can do this in February. And it's not too late to start planning and advertising now. Okay, here's the cold hard facts. Number one, we sold 65 boxes of cookies. We advertised that each box was gonna have at least 2 dozen cookies in it. I like people to open the box and be like, oh wow, I got more than what I thought I was going to. So we put a healthy 2.5, closer to 3 dozen cookies in every box. So that means we made about 160 dozen cookies. We started on a Saturday night at about 5:30 and we finished up about 11 o'clock. So what's that? 5 or 6 or 7, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, about 6 hours. So check out the other videos earlier in this series to see how we managed to make 160 dozen cookies in 6 hours. Next, how much it cost. So I went on Amazon and I found a great deal on these cute little cookie boxes. They were 55 cents each, so we had that expense. And then we did like 8 varieties of cookies. And we did some like just basic chocolate chip, just basic gingerbread, but then we also did some fancier ones like orange cranberry, which drove the cost up a little bit. So if you didn't want to drive the cost up, you could skip the fancy ones. Anyway, I'm guessing that we did about $4 per box in cookie baking materials, the flour, the sugar, the eggs, the butter, and so forth. So we were roughly in each box of cookies like $4.50, $5-ish. Now, side note, in that we also factor in, I was baking with kids, and we did lose probably 6 dozen probably 6 dozen cookies we lost to them either being underbaked or burnt, just because, you know, this project isn't all about money. It's also about learning teamwork, learning to bake, learning to use an oven, learning to follow directions, learning to use a recipe. So we learned all those soft skills too. So side note number, 3, sorry about all the side notes, but anyway, one of our options was if you didn't live in the area or if you just didn't want cookies, you could still buy a box of cookies and we would donate it to a local fire or police station in your name, which people did that. We sold about 9 boxes worth of cookies to the local fire police department, which we've already taken and donated. But if you think about 9 out of 65, that's like a little over 10%. And so we were able to, you know, times our profit or make 10% more profit than we would have if we hadn't offered that option. Right, I know you're thinking, come on, Audra, how much money did you make? Okay, so we sold the cookie boxes for $15 a piece. We were in each box about $5, which means we made about $10 per box. We sold 65 boxes. You do the math, 65 times 10. We made just under $700 for one night, 6 hours of baking. I don't think that's too darn bad. How could you make that more money? Sell more boxes. Don't do as fancy cookies. Don't do as many varieties of cookies. That would drive your ingredient costs down. Also get some ingredients donated, maybe from your local Sam's Club or even just a church member who wants to donate ingredients. That would also help. So somebody asked me, what would I do better or differently next year? Number one is we did a cranberry orange cookie recipe, which it wasn't the greatest. I'd probably not do something that fancy. Another problem we had was consistency on our bake, and that's hard to do just because we were baking with kids. But probably work on, I don't really know the answer to this problem yet, but work on having consistent bake times for the different cookies, which might be easier if we didn't have so many varieties, which, I don't know, so many varieties is fun too, because when you get a box of cookies, you want to open it up and there'll be lots of things to try. So I'm still, the jury's still out. So there was this one thing we did where we offered a nut-free box of cookies and also a plant-based box of cookies. And I thought that offering those options would drive up sales because people who couldn't have those things might buy them anyway. And we only sold like just a couple of each kind. And that turned out to be more headache than it was worth trying to make those different kinds. So I would probably just cut that option out next year. So just to wrap this up and recap, why is this such an awesome fundraiser? You make a lot of money, a pretty high return on your efforts. Number two, the kids learn so much, so many great skills in the kitchen and working together in teamwork. That's probably actually my favorite part of this fundraiser, is what the kids learn. And how they feel so much pride when they're sitting there staring at 160 dozen cookies and thinking, I made those and they turned out good. I guess now you see why the Girl Scouts sell cookies. I'd love to hear if you give this a try or if you've done anything like it or if you have any tips. Love to hear it. Please comment, subscribe, like, share, all those things. See you next time.